everyone. I'm really happy and pleased to be a part of the International Scientific and Practical Conference that was held by different institutes from Poland, Brazil, and Argentina. So today I'll be presenting the content of the recently published manuscript entitled A Digital Leap in the Evolution of Continuous Professional Development for Teachers. Before we begin, I'd like to uh, present or speak about the plan of the presentation. So I'll start first with the introduction, in which I will speak about the motive behind this study, and then of course we'll circle around the research questions, which will set the tone for the whole presentation, and then we'll tackle the different concepts or the main concepts highlighted during the study, and then of course we'll swiftly move to the methodology, its type, and of course the finding and the core of our research, which is the CPD focused system that was inferred from the study, and then we'll finish by the conclusion, implications, and of course present the references that were showcased in this presentation. So as you may know, the sudden, unexpected emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic pushed us toward new modalities of instruction, and at that time we were in a need to develop our skills, specifically in the teaching community. So we had different initiatives, be it self-led, government-led, or even third-party led, like in this case, the U.S. Embassy in Egypt, okay, which launched an online program to help teachers worldwide, Egypt particularly, but worldwide programs to help teachers cope with the new, let's say, demands or requirements. And let's say post-pandemic era, the initiative still continues in different forms, mainly in WhatsApp. So they have been able to, let's say, make a social media based CPD program that help teachers worldwide meets on a regular basis to develop and hone their skills. So, and our study really focused on how this process went along, and the research objective of the study were twofold. Number one, mapping out the CPD infused online training that took place in this or in these platforms in particular, WhatsApp in particular, and of course, develop a CPD based system, or infer it, develop it, design it, but from the study, of course, that can be replicated in other similar contexts. So, which bring us to the research question, which is how we can or how can CPD infused online training be mapped and analyzed, and what are the key components for creating a scalable and replicable CPD based system. So let's first tackle the theoretical background, and here GHOBRINI and all 2024 really stressed that the pandemic has significantly accelerated the proliferation of technologizing CPD program, because instructors worldwide at that time were in need to upgrade their savoir-faire to be able to operate in online-only environments. And because the teachers were not equipped, were not ready for that big of a change, or that sudden. And then from this initiative came a lot of, let's say, good new pedagogical, let's say, techniques that help teachers, let's say, continue their e-education with the students. So they could teach well and students can learn well as well. So WhatsApp emerged as a really good platform that can ensure that As Kansoy consolidated 2017, that WhatsApp groups can promote professional development by providing educators with field expertise, pedagogical knowledge, practical teaching insights, and emotional support. He adds that the social media based features can be utilized for educational purposes in general and specifically for professional development. And this is the focal point, and this is the point you want to expand on. Now let's delve into the methodology, which is the let's say the main part of the study. So we have chosen a descriptive multi-case study to conduct this research. As for the data collection tools, we opted for a participant observation and the study and analysis of the archived data, not only data but let's say different kinds of data, which is text, video, and images from the WhatsApp group, and the duration was 40 days. So during 40 days, we've been monitoring what was going on in two different WhatsApp e-groups. So the first contained roughly around 780 users, which are teachers, of course, and the second one roughly 1,000 users. So now let's see the country's frequency of the participants in both WhatsApp groups. So the first WhatsApp group regarded the secondary teachers only, and the second one, let's say, targeted the MENA English teachers. So be it in primary, middle, or secondary school. So the first element that pops up is the let's say high frequency of in both groups of teachers, which is that of the Egyptian English teachers. And this can be explained by the fact that this whole initiative was launched by the U.S. Embassy in Egypt, and of course that is why the number of teachers from Egypt is really high. And of course we can see that there are different teachers from different countries, namely Kuwait, Algeria, Tunisia, Jordan, Libya, Lebanon, Morocco, Yemen, UAE, and so forth. Now, once we started monitoring and analyzing how the process went along in these two different e-spaces, we have traced the CPD focused WhatsApp training, and it was, let's say, it had different elements, different features that a normal CPD face-to-face program wouldn't have. And number one was polls, and polls were a feature that was used by administrators to, let's say, structure the e-training journey. And not only that, but they help set up the time, and they help also gauge the teachers' opinion as well on different matters. And number two, really interesting, the use of emojis in a very communicative way. Like, for example, they have certain rules, and then, like, if they agree, they give a thumbs up; if they don't, a thumbs down, and so forth. And then we have the use of multimedia materials like video, text, and photos given to teachers sometimes to reflect on, to take a look at, to view, to review, and then comment on. And of course, which brings us to the feedback, which was a pertinent element in this process, because the whole dynamic of this training was the exchange of feedback from teachers, and so on. And not only that, but they added also this feedback was not just only like one like country community of teachers, but it was teachers from different communities, which brought that layer of cultural aspects in their feedback. And then the last point was that sometimes the online training did not take place in the WhatsApp group, but outside, externally, on different let's say more formal platforms like Zoom. Now, let's speak about the CPD infuse system, the one that we were able to infer from the gist of it, from all the process overall, not just in particular in WhatsApp, but if we take like it's a, let's say, a bigger picture, how it goes on. So the very first thing is what everything was orchestrated by an organization, which is the U.S. Embassy of Egypt. Okay, and then the main objective was to scale that training through different communication platform, and thus expand the access to that training through online meeting, be it formal on Zoom or informal in WhatsApp. And not only that, but also the ability to store and archive the that meeting. And so the social media arenas served as e-repositories for teachers that enabled them to go back and review what was discussed before. And then, of course, the traceability is really important as well, because through that archive, we can trace what we have dealt with, what we have done, what we have discussed. So it's also help for the assessments and future enhancements, or detects areas of improvements. And then let's move to a more concrete way for teachers. Not only do they partake in this training journey, but also they can be accredited, because sometimes they can offer for teachers to, let's say, have certificate not only on social media but also on the website, because they offer online courses that teachers can enroll to or enroll in, and by the end of the course they can have an accreditation or a certificate that guarantees or that showcases what they have done in the course. And then the most interesting part is the linkage of this of all of these resources, of all of these system of training teachers that made it that effective. And I think that system can really be, let's say, effective and efficient in training English teachers worldwide, not only in English teachers but other specialties as well, if put in place. So in conclusion, I think that system, that kind of system, really help teachers upgrade their savoir-faire, and it can scale, or it is already scaled, but even it can be scalable not only to a few countries but worldwide. Why not? And that can really help teachers diversify their online teaching practices, and that can be really fruitful in terms of education. So this is it. These are the references that have been mentioned during the presentation. Thank you so much. Looking forward for your questions. Goodbye.